Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. So we on the first day we went through this introduction of the orientation about what is the data science and what is the market demand. How to work with that and all this. So just trying to brief you about the plan. I'm going to just explain what is our plan, the journey, and followed by the project work. Okay. So I'm going to start with, for example, we are going to learn Python, right? Python programming as a beginning. So which you are going to go through the syllabus, like all the basics, like basic programming stuff and fundamentals and loops, control flow statements, all this. Followed by, so we are going to give you this website called workshop.avian.com. This is mainly adaptive learning, where we have seen that other day, right? So where you are going to go through these digital labs. So this is the course which is going to be assigned to you. You all of you registered in this, and your accounts are here. Okay. So that we are going to give you your login ID and password, so that after this workshop, you will log in here and you are going to learn all these things. Yeah. So once you are done with this Python basic programming, then we are going to start with the data science, and the data science will be, so we are going to complete Python programming in 3 sessions. Okay. That means like mostly in a week from today. So today is Thursday, right? So Thursday, Saturday, and then so when is your next class? Will be on Monday. So then, so you will be kind of done with this. Most likely we'll try to finish it up. But thing is, you need to practice very well daily, like to minimum 2 to 4 hours, so that you can able to complete your Python course in 1 week time. So I will try to give you like little more time, like Thursday to next Thursday. Okay. So that will be 4 classes, and you try to complete all that, and then try to reach out to either by good and or try to go for excellent. Like this is the gold certification. Okay, this is the silver. So if you once right now you are here, once you start practicing, once you get 1 mark, then you will go to newbie. From there you are going to, once you get 25%, you go here. So these are the marks. So basically, once you start working on this, then you are going to be getting the marks. You see this, if you do this one, you get 1 mark. If you do this, you get 2 marks. Likewise, there are marks. If you do this one, you get 4 marks. So you need to solve it. Like if you do this one, you will get 6 marks. So this is so once you complete all of them, if you get a maximum 69 marks, then that means you are going to get 100% score. So there is all the help is here. Okay, everything is basically here. You don't need to worry about, and you just need to practice and get going. So then once we are done with the Python, we are going to start with data science. Okay, so in data science, you will have this, like session 1, session 2, session 3, all these things. Technically, in the session 1 of data science, we are going to learn about what is the data science, the introduction, and what are the libraries that we use in data science, which are basically for using for artificial intelligence. Okay, and then so we are going to begin with a few fundamental libraries, which is nothing but list, NumPy, and pandas. Okay, list is inbuilt in Python, but we are going to learn here NumPy and pandas. And then we are going to understand, the comparison between the different libraries, and this will be adjusting the sequence actually. So here, next session will be matplot. So don't worry about all these things. I'm just giving you index. Okay, day one you know, so I'm going to worry about that. Basically, this is the route map. Okay, so all together, like very last, then we are going to work with the project. So we are going to start the project work somewhere here. So while learning this one, so while learning here, then the project assignments will be announced. Around 10 varieties of projects we are going to announce. Then the projects comes like beginner, moderate, and expert. Depends on your skill level. Okay, you can choose the respective project, and other people will join. Like a few more people from different college will also join into the project, and you will form as a team, and you will work in the project. Okay, so that is the entire plan. So let's getting back to the subject now. So today we are going to learn the very basics like the Python fundamentals. Very much beginning, right? Just the first day of the Python. So Aradhya, can you please run a poll asking the question like how many people are familiar with the Python? Like can be like familiar or not familiar? That's enough. Or basic, moderate, expert, or not sure. I mean, the first time learning, like not familiar, beginner, moderate. So those questions, can we conduct that? Aradhya, are you there?
Yeah, what happened?
Can you please conduct a poll, just asking these questions like how many people are familiar with the Python and how many people don't have any knowledge?
Yeah.
Basically, like so don't know Python.
Students,
Yeah.
just I placed a poll. Are you aware of Python? So please go ahead with I know, average, or no. So that we'll know that is it we can cover more of Python or we should cover more of data science. See, students, you know that nowadays the Python is taking very wide role in your software engineering. Better all if you know should work towards Python, which can be taken to the other domains also. Shankarji, you can see the poll.
Yeah. Okay, so it's kind of 50-50, right?
No, average is 36. That's correct, 50%. But
yeah, nearby like 45-55, whatever. But thing is like, yeah. So guys, like we are not going to start with we will be doing a fast track in Python. So the people who have not started, so spend more time, right? It is a very friendly language. You don't need to worry about. You will enjoy doing it. So you just need to spend more time. Okay. So if you can spend more time, then you will kind of speed up your learning, and you can able to adjust with other people. So that's the plan. Yeah, you can end the phone. Okay. So let's continue with the our plan. So mainly we are going to go in a fast track, learning basic Python and all the, whatever the knowledge we need for data science. Aradhya, please go on mute. So here, so technically the Python is good and very valid nowadays is because of it is going to cover all aspects. all aspects in the sense, for example, if you take a C language, it is good for only, GUI based development, right? Where, you can do a lot of things in command line and operating system level, but it is not good for doing a web, projects, web based projects, okay, or apps and all that. So, but whereas Python can do all that. Even if you take Java, it is good. Kind of, comparatively, it is excellent on top of all other programming, but it is not still good to handle the big data, meaning large data sets, large volume of the data to handle quickly and they're able to give you the result. So, but it happens very nicely in Python. Okay. So that is the beauty about it. Like in Python, it is an open source and there is a lot of community, okay, worldwide and supporting this. And it can do like everything for you. It can support web-based projects, operating system level projects, and data science, artificial intelligence, everything. So that is why Python is growing very well. So now we're going to talk about like, basic stuff like, the variables, control flow statements, conditional statements, arrays, tuples, dictionary, etc. And advanced programming like, OOPS concepts, class, object, interface, inheritance, polymorphism, all that. So this we don't need for now. Then, so we'll be learning and a few more additional concepts which is required for the data science, like a list, which is nothing but arrays, and sorting, searching, and other algorithms. So basic foundation in Python, mainly we are going to learn today the introduction, which is all about fundamentals and control and conditional statements. Okay, and how to use the files and the list and OOPS concepts. Yeah. So first of all, why Python, right? So we just spoke about the Python, right? Like basically, Python is one of the thing is it is basically the community is very huge. People are vigorously working on it, and it's going to provide a lot of libraries like this, which we are going to use it directly to get to solve our problem, developer problem, instead of you spend a lot of time to build that. Okay. Number two, it is a simplified one of the program with the best and clean, a very simple programming language, right? And that going to basically it is mainly used for multi-purpose, which means it can be used for developing the websites, and it can be used for data science, machine learning, and AI. Okay, and automation. So that is why there is a lot of jobs in the market, and salaries are very high. So now we are going to talk about the structure of the program, right? How do I write my very first program in Python, right? So technically in Hebian, when you go there, like you can see that, you are going to write, there is an editor, right? So which you just basically type. See, other beautiful thing in Python is you don't need to really worry about defining the data types. Like I can create a variable like this and set some value. And I'm going to say some condition like variable whether by default is true. Here, I can write condition like in English, like if this particular variable colon. So if this is a credit is true, this means this is basically the minute you say like this, it is a true. If it is true, then you are setting some down payment. Else you are setting something else. Finally, you are going to print that down payment, right? So just like we are going to look at the small programs anyway. Don't worry. Just that is a basic program, how people write in Python. So just read this once. So hope you have gone through this. So technically, three things that you should be really aware of before you learn any programming. One is, what is this programming about, right? Number two, what type of computer programs that are there in the market. Number three, what is the algorithm and how many types of algorithms are there? At least try to learn, understand 10 different algorithms. Okay, not today, like at least in a month or 2 months time, you try to understand at least 10 different algorithms. So that in the market, when you go and talk to people, then they will respect you, then you will understand, I mean, when they challenge you, you can able to handle it. So number one, the programming is all about what? So it is a set of instructions, right? So you are going to say computer to do something, right? So for example, when you basically even look at this spotlight, it is basically acting the way the program is written, not just like, there is no light in the computer which can come itself, right? So it is all about the human, like us. We are going to tell computer if based on the action what to respond, right? When somebody says like play a sound, then it is going to do something. Yeah. So who is writing the code to handle that? It is us. Like human is going to tell computer if a person type this, then you do this. Okay. So technically, you like people like you become a programmers who are going to write some code where operating system will understand to react. That is what the programming is. So that then what people do, they based on the different demands and the capability, people going to write programming in different languages. In different programming languages, people are going to write programming, which is like Python, C Sharp, Java, JavaScript, Ruby, PHP, C, C++, and so on. Finally, a Python, right? So what is happening here? First of all, what is the programming? Programming is basically you are trying to tell the computer on how to react based on user action. So if user say press enter, then what to do in certain areas. If user press F1, what to do in certain areas, right? If user press caps lock, what to do. So you are, as a human, as a developer, you are going to write the code where the operating system will understand and react based on the user action. Simple. Then for that, and people basically learn from different programming languages. Okay. Next one is algorithms. So computer programs usually execute some algorithm, right? Algorithms are a sequence of steps needed to do a certain job and achieve some expected result, something like a recipe. For example, if we fry eggs, right, we follow, there is a recipe that somebody based on your whatever you learned. So step one, you are going to heat a pan. Okay. Then okay, you are going to break the eggs. So you are going to fry till that is feel like serving, isn't it? So this is such a simple example like that. Algorithm is nothing but is defining the steps to execute a program and following a recipe. Okay. So for example, there is a sequential versus non-sequential, like sequential and binary. If you are familiar with C language or data structures, there is a sequential search and binary search. Sequential search basically go from 0 to sequential, like 0, 1, 2, 3, like that. If you are searching some number in 1 lakh range, then the sequential search will start from 0 and go all the way to 1 lakh until it finds the number. Binary search is basically it's a divide and conquer, right? Like it is going to say total by divided by 2, and it will check whether left or right. So the binary search will take less number of steps to find a number. The sequential, it will be good if the so sequential will be take if it is like the number is available in the first half, it is going to be quick. Otherwise, it will take a lot of time. So I suggest you to understand at least 10 varieties of algorithms. So how do I print like 1 to 5 numbers in Python? So look at this one, very simple. Like for I in range 1, 6 and print I. So I is the variable, and the range, like here in Python we are going to say range, which is going to start from 1 to 6. So each time it is going to print, okay, starting with 1, right? The first time I value will be 1, so it is going to print 1. Second time it is 1 got incremented with 1, so next time it is going to be 2, it will print 2. Like that you are going to get these values. So there is a, so what happens here, like how do you practice your program, Python? There is so many environments, okay, where you can IDEs, you can download like PyCharm, and then JetBrains, Visual Studio, Atom, and Eclipse, Payday. There are so many up there, and there is also there is a lot of online editors out there. But you have your here Hebian Labs, which you can able to just to do it from anytime, anywhere on the browser. You don't need to install anyone, but you can still do it if you want, right? So how do I print my hello in Python? So simply say print double quotes hello. You are using double quotes is because it is a string, a character. Anytime when there is a you are printing a character, you need to use double quotes. If it is a number, you don't need to use this double quotes at all. You can simply say print bracket 10. Okay. So look at this one here. How do I calculate area? Okay. So I want to calculate area of this number 5. So you can also use math functions in Python by importing math. So you can say import space math and then variable equal to 5, area equal to math.5 into or. So print the double quotes area equals to comma. So you have area, right? So we are also going to solve a lot of hackathons in Python, code challenges. So how do we do that? So technically, you have here face of the rectangle that you want to calculate. So the system is giving you inputs like A as 2, B as 7, and you want to calculate area for that. So 2 into 7. Then the system is giving B value, A value as 7, B value as 8. Then you are going to calculate this. So how do you read from the console when system is giving? So in Python, you are going to say A equals to int, and you are in the brackets, you would say input brackets. So that what is happening here from console, we are going to take the input value like input and brackets. That means it is going to read the first value as a string. But we know that this value is integer. Now we are converting that string value into integer. For that, we are going to say int bracket this particular value and print. For example, I'm going to show you how it looks like. Okay. So I am in ABM workshop, right? So
Hello.
so, so here I go to playground, and then for example I'm going to write my first program, like I want to print the sum of two numbers. Okay. Before that, let me show you how to do like a print hello, right? So here I go to this one and I select my Python, and then so for example, if I want to print hello, then it is the default code will do for me. For example, what is happening here? When you select Python, we are giving some default value like this. So technically, you need to type. If it is not there, you assume that your screen is blank like this. Then you have to type that. Type what? Some x equal to input brackets. Okay, and print x. So now and run. So it is going to print like that. Okay. Whatever it is here. This is the input that we are giving as a user, and the system is going to read from, when the minute you say input, the system is going to, this Python is going to read from the console, whatever is given here into this. Since it's a string, it is going to be directly taken. So I can also do this like, directly I can say print, okay, whatever is there in the input. I don't need to declare a variable. I will also get the same thing. Okay. So I will get the same output. So then if I want to print a person name, first name, last name, how can I do that? So I want to say that, first name equals to input, and the second name equals to another input. So here what happens now, I'm going to say my first name is Python. Second name is master. Okay. So when you run this, what happens? Nothing is coming here, but because we are not printing anything, so I want to now print the name plus second name, right? I got this one without spaces, but what I want to add some space between. So then I would put some spaces here, double quotes, space, before, after, and concatenating this. So I'm adding a plus symbol. So I got my space. So if I want to do some hard coding like prefix, I can also do that. Mr. dot plus. Okay, I can also do this. So what happens now? It is going to print like Mr. dot Python master. So this is how you begin with one. How do I do the sum of two numbers? So for example, this is the first number. Okay, I need to say first. Second number is like this. Now I'm going to put some values here, 5 and then 10. So these values will go here. Now I'm going to do sum of those, right? Print first, then second. So what I got 510. So why is that? I told you, remember, the minute you say input of this one, it is going to read that as a string. It is not like a number. That is why it is like concatenating, thinking that it is a string. So that's why, but we know that it is not a string, right? So I need to convert this string into integer. So I'm going to convert. How can we convert? It's called typecasting. Okay. So the minute I say input bracket, close bracket, then it is going to be converted as integer. Then int again, convert. Okay. Now you see that I got my output as 5 plus 10. Is it clear? So this is how we are going to do all the experiments in the playground. So you practice your, all the thing that I'm going to teach you here, and so here what you will do later, you are going to go with this one and all the programs that we have in academic labs. You will go through with one by one, without jumping, and try to go one by one and try to solve all this. But whatever based on my inputs, I'm going to give you daily some labs. So all the labs must be practiced here, and then you go and solve so that you will feel much easy. Also, you can refer to there is a videos again for respect to the topic, and there is also lessons here, which lessons contains all the for example, how to do my hello world. That's the lesson, right? By default, it is going to give you some output. I mean, some code where you can able to practice. Okay. Then you get this output. So I got 1 mark because this is all the learning programs. Learn type will give you marks without doing anything. You don't need to do anything. So I got 1 mark now. So I was moved from here to here. My name is here now. Okay. So the minute you get 1 mark, you will be coming out from this practice, not practiced into the newbie. Once I cross my 25%, I will go here. Okay. So that is how we are going to practice. So how did I solve my sum of two numbers? I got my A value, I got my B value. Then I added this A plus B, then I would get this output. Yeah. Next, so how do I print, numbers that, just like I can do print of 9. How do I print a string? I can basically use in single quotes. Then how do I print a message? Basically, I can declare a variable and put that into double quotes or single quote and use the print statement to print. So here, read user input in the form of an integer. Okay. So what happens? We just did remember, like we converted that int of by default it comes as a string. Now we converted with that. Similarly, we are going to take the value of, if it is a square, then once we get that value, we are going to do this a into a, print that value. So you get the area of that particular number. So next, talking about data types. Okay. So what are the data types that we have in Python? Basically, there are like strings, numbers, list, tuples, dictionary, sets, and boolean. So strings nothing but either you can print them in single quote or in double quotes. Okay, and numbers can be like 10, which is a normal integer, and then 10.5 is basically a floating point. So list is like it comes with the square brackets. It's like it's begin with a square bracket and end with a square bracket. And you can put multiple values into the list, either by numbers or strings, like which are separated by comma. If it is strings, you put a single quote and the comma and next string. string 2. If it is a numbers, you put like a number, some number here, comma, number 2. Tuples, the difference between list and tuples is this comes with a bracket, this comes with a square bracket, and we will see the real difference. What is that about? Okay, so list is basically declared as with square bracket here. Tuples will be with um, uh, regular brackets, and dictionaries is going to be used using what? The curly brackets. Dictionaries will be using what? Curly brackets. And sets will be using with what? Again, curly brackets. Okay. So, and the booleans, either you can put it as 0 or 1 or true or false. So text type is a string, numeric types are int, float, complex. Sequence types are list, tuple, range. And then mapping types are dictionary. Set types are set and frozen set. Boolean types are bool. Okay, this is how you are going to use in Python. So what is the difference between list, tuple, and set? So we need to understand the difference between list, tuple, and set. So the list is basically acting as a collection of elements can be changed, which is immutable. Tuple is collection of elements can't be changed, immutable. Collection of unique elements, set do not allow repetition. So these three are similar, but there is a different purpose. That is why we have three different collections. List is mainly for, like, you can put the list, and in runtime you can add, delete, and sort it, do all this arrangement or replace. Where that is, it is going to mutable means it is going to allow you to manipulate. Okay, like a remote, the way that you can play with the TV when with the remote, right? So list is going to allow you, once you start declaring, and in the runtime you can also delete and add, you can do all that such thing using the list. Tuple will not allow you to do such thing. It is like a read only. Once you put whatever in that collection, you just need to use, you cannot manipulate. That is why it is called immutable. Sets is basically collection of unique elements. What it means here, and tuples or in list you can put duplicate values, but in set it is not going to give allow you to put duplicate values. So when the situation demand says only add unique values without duplication, then go for sets. When the situation says like only add read only, I don't need to manipulate in runtime, then go for tuple. When the situation we need initially, let's declare some values, but later you're going to add more and delete and do all that sort of thing, then you go for list. These are normal, like a text, number type, sequence type, dictionary. Okay, dictionary is a special, like where it is going to work like a locker in a bank. So how does the locker in a bank looks like? It's like, you have a locker with your key. So you go to store something there. Using your key, you can unlock and then take your values, right? Similarly, in operating system, there is a dictionary, meaning it is going to be operated with the key. So you can say, my key is like, XYZ. That then you are going to store some 1 to 10 numbers. So when you say dictionary, give me whatever it is, whatever is mapping to that XYZ, then it is going to give you that XYZ 1 to 3 numbers. Similarly, a particular customer goes to bank and using his key, he can go to his locker and he take his belongings. So that is how it is basically holding some particular data based on some identity. What are the data types basically? Data types are nothing but, these kind of containers, placeholders See, this looks messy, right? Because everything is in one container. This looks more into organized, different things are in different containers. So what happens here in operating system to make this, the data arrangement clean and, be easy to handle in operating system, we have data types. So will be assigned into number. Okay, strings will be placed into string. Collections will be placed into collection. So that when we want to work with the operating system through the programming, it makes our life much easy. So for example, here, if you take like, this, all these things are belongs to string. This type of like with having some, decimals right after the first element, first value, then we basically go for like rating, all these things will be treated as a float or real. There is a regular number, integer number, and there's a natural numbers, then we go for integer. If it is a conditional basis, like whether either this or not that, like true or false, then we go for Boolean. So next topic in Python is operators. Okay. So in operators, technically there are like arithmetic operators, relational, logical, bitwise, assignment, and some mixed type. So if you talk about operators here with basically the first level, you go with the plus or minus or multiplication and all those different types. So how can you do those in Python? You basically need to say that variable equal to a particular. Just now we saw that, right? Sum of two numbers. We can, if it is a numbers directly, you are going to say this number one plus number two. If it is a variable, you will say that with the variable one plus variable two. Similarly, the minus. Similarly, multiplication. Similarly, you are going to divide. If you use 2 times, right, slash, then it is going to round the value. It is not going to give the decimal. If you use 1 time, the first number divided by this one, then it is going to give with the, it is going to return a float value with the decimals. If you use the two times this bar, then it is going to return an integer by rounding the decimal into the nearest. So how do I concatenate my first name and last name? Just now we have seen, remember? So the first name plus space and last name, then you can, anything that goes inside the double quotes, it is a constant. Anything that goes within the double quotes is a constant. It will not be executed as a variable. We just observe this line here. First name is a variable because it is outside, it is not in double quotes. So it is going to go here and take this value plus concatenating double quotes, there is a space. So since it's double quotes in between and whatever it is not going to be executed. It will be printing as it is plus last name. So not in the double quotes. So it has to go here and pick up this whatever is assigned plus double quotes is. So this, since it is in double quotes, it is not going to look anywhere here. Instead, it is going to print as it is plus age. Age outside of the double quotes, that is declared here, then it will be printed. So then finally, when you print this print bracket str, then you are going to get this output. So next topic is control flow statements. So generally, what is a control flow statement? Technically, there is like, if you want to go through some set of rules and trying to identify something till that matches, okay, and when it matches, then you say that, yes, I'm done with that, my match, and come out. So for example, there are like list of people and you want to match, find out one of the person based on the last name, first name, or age, or email ID, phone number with one of the parameter, and you are looking for a match. So the minute once it matches, okay, then you are going to come out from that list and feel that this is the identity of that particular person. So in order to do such things in programming, we are going to follow some control flow statements. So what are the control flow statements in in Python? Technically same like in C language or Java. One is if condition, and then number two, if else. Number three, nested if condition, like writing the if condition inside the if condition. So how do I write my first if condition? So I'm going to declare a variable equal to some 20, and I'm going to try writing my condition like if that number greater than 18 colon. Okay, what is the syntax of the if condition is? So technically the syntax says if it has to be there, the keyword, and then the variable, some condition, right? So condition can be, anything like less than, greater than, or whatever, right? Or Boolean. So number greater than 18 is the condition here, and followed by when. So how do the operating system knows that the condition is completed? So then operating system will understand only when they see the semicolon. I mean colon. When the operating system sees that colon is here, then it is going to think like, oh, the condition is over, right? So now let me go to the execution. So that means if number greater than 18 colon, then we are going to print that number comma is adult. One more thing here in Python you must understand and write down this indentation. Okay, so indentations will be valid like you have first initially this value number is started with a 0 on the left. If condition also started with the left side 0 place, but this print is basically started with after the tab. So I have to press the tab to use that statement, because in C language, remember how you have this curly brackets begin and end. So this statement is now inside this if condition, whereas this statement is outside of the if condition. So this print statement here, what you say, simple example by Heavyan Technologies, this statement has nothing to do with this if condition. The reason is this is not forward with the tab, it is at the root level. Okay. So now technically what happens here, the print statement here is outside, so it can't be taking this anything related to this one, whereas this one will be following this condition. Let's try that in the code and see how it looks like. Okay, so for example, now I'm going to type that first into my notepad, and then I will execute that code. So first it is saying number equals to 20, right? Then so I'm going to write my if condition, number greater than 18. Okay, next. So I'm pressing a tab. Then say print number, comma, double quotes, age is adult. So next I'm going down and then also printing, print condition. This is my program. So let's go and type this and in the editor and see how it looks like. Okay. So if you go to this one on playground, I'm going to add like if condition. So practice, go to Python. So I have my program and I'm going to run this. So 20 is a adult, right? So the reason is it is greater than 18. But this thing is came, and you may be thinking because of the condition, like for example, if I put it here, it will print same, no difference. But if I put, for example, if I put this forward, like press a tab in between, okay, what happens now? The indentation is broken because, like, this statement has nothing to do with this. So for example, now it is like, that I'm going to save 21. Then what happens here? Oh, this is not printed now because this condition did not go through well. So this failed. But this statement is printed because this is not inside the if condition. This is outside. Okay. So that is how this indentation works. If I put this one in the root, if I run this, then it will fail this. Like it is not going to run because this condition followed by this statement is not inside. It is not acting like a child. It is it is acting like a parent. So in order to make that as a child, then we have to press a tab. Okay. So just try to keep in mind that the indentations. Otherwise, anyway, you will get this error stating that indentation error. Okay. So go back to this one. If you want to do something more than like if else statement, then here is the example. So you are going to write like if, and then if you put else, then it will be working as a if else statement. We'll see it in the editor anyway. So how do we do the nested if conditions? Nested if means so you have a variable. First you are going to, so there is one condition here. Inside you are going to write one more condition. Okay. So that will be part of. So this is a if condition. Inside if condition, if you write one more if, that becomes a nested if. So first if statement and followed by second if statement, and all these things are coming under this first if statement. So if this gets executed, then all these things will be executed. Otherwise, this will not come inside. Okay. So how do you write the if else, like if and else? How do you write the nested if? You have if condition, and inside that you need to write all the other set of if statements that becomes a nested if. So look at some comparison here. If I want to do operator less than operator, then I do this. If I want to do greater than operator, I would do this. If I want to do less than equals to, then this is the way to handle the comparison numbers, right? Okay. So if you look at this one here, this is how you can see the output. Like we have a value a equals to 5, b equals to 10, and you can print like a greater than b, since a is a small, b is a upper, so this returns as a false. A is not equals to b, that's why it is a false. But a is less than 10, which is true, right? So likewise, you can see that output of this particular comparison numbers. So in Python, if I want to check if it is equal or not, you need to use double equals. Okay. And if I want to see if it is not equals, then you do this. If you want to say bigger, then this is the way. If you want to find out if it is either bigger or equal, then you do this one. If you want to find out if it is lesser than the current, then you do this. If it is less or equal, then you do this. So if I want to handle the floating values, right, or want to find out a grade, how do you do that? For example, the grade is like, you are going to read from the input, and the grades are, earlier remember we learned how to convert a normal string to integer by using int and then brackets. If it is a decimal points, how do you read? You have to say float bracket input. Okay. So this is how you are going to write this statement. So now let's find out how to working with the if else statement. So you are going to take a number and then you will check whether that number equals to 1, then you are going to print 1. If the number equals to 2, then you are going to print 2. So you are following the if else statement here. Yeah. So you can also do some exercises like, you are going to read the points. If the points is greater than, you do this one. Else, if the points is something else, then you are going to calculate. Finally, you are going to do the bonus. Okay. So this is basically assignment which you can type and try to, find out the answer. Yeah. So anyway, the video will be uploaded, so you can take it from here. Calculate the bonus points, for the particular scenario, whatever it says, like the criteria is given here, so you need to follow that, and then you calculate the bonus. So one last topic in this session today is loops, right? So pretty much similar, like whatever you have seen, that conditional statements. So here we are going to look through two types of loops. One is while, other one is for. So first one is, so here, for example, I want to print like 1 to 100 numbers. Obviously, printing like this 1, 2, 3 like that is a bad idea, right? Because if I want to print 1 million, what do you do? So that is not the reason how the computers are invented. We don't want to go through this process. Instead, we are going to use this while a less than 100 colon, then go through this incremental and print. Got it? Similarly, how do you use for loop? So for statements to run the numbers, one thing you should remember is the range. So each time you are going through loop through that with increment of 1. So 1 to 100. So you are going to say for count is a variable, which is the number will be taken from here, and you are going to print it. So let's let's leave the class from here in this level, and I have some labs for you. So I'm going to give you like a day one, which contains all the data types. So any example, basically from here you can copy this. Okay, for example, I have given so many examples in one particular sample, right? So you can go to this website and basically copy paste and then run. Sometimes you may need to insert the give the value wherever you have input. When you say input, then you have to provide inputs here. Got it? So here we are basically declared the value, so we don't need to give any inputs. So first time I declared an integer, then I'm printing it. Next time I'm declaring a large number, then I'm printing it. Next time I'm declaring a floating point and printing it. Next time I declared a character, printing it. then declaring a string, printing it, boolean, printing it. Okay, some nothing like some generic default value, printing that. Similarly, example 2. So what I want you to do is, don't limit yourself like this. You can also play like same thing can be taken from input here. Like I can put some 24. Declaring that I want to say that take it from input, convert into integer. I mean integer number from the here. So now run it. The first value becomes 24 because that I am sending this thing to this one. So like that, and then do sum of numbers or sort it, so do all this manipulation so that then you will feel like you are learning something. Otherwise, in a few minutes you can copy paste this thing and you are done. That is not the purpose of this. There is a different varieties of examples given here, which you go through this and then try to go through this process and practice. I want to share this into in the WhatsApp group so that you can practice there. Using that examples, you can practice. Here we have a list, we have a tuple, we have a dictionary, we have a set. All three things are fixed, and you can also read the difference between those two and able to try to manipulate this to the next level. So this is another kind of Python, just only list, where you are going to see that how these things are sliced. Like there is so many numbers in this A, but I only want whatever it is there in the number 2, meaning it start arrays of this list, all these are going to start with 0. So this is 0, 1, 2. We are saying give me the value from 2, right? So you are going to get 15. Okay, then here we are going to say 0 to 3. Okay, so what do you get? So after 0, basically like 0 is 5 and 1 is 10 and 2 is 15. 3 means like basically the toppest, right? So highest number, like we always take n minus 1. Okay, so we are going to say, since it is going to start with 0, so n minus 1, which is 3 minus 1, 0, 1, 2. So you got 3 values here. Okay, this is going to say that give me like whatever, start with the 5 till the end. So the end number is 40, and where is it is starting number 5 is basically 30. Okay, so that is how this last things will be printing. So you can play with all the numbers from this lab 01. It has all the basic things, and okay, and lab 02 also I'm going to give, which is again if condition, and then operators, and then loops, right? All will be covered. You practice. If there is any doubts, you can always ask in the WhatsApp group. Our trainer will respond and they will help you out. Any questions so far? Yeah, this video will be recorded. So we are going to put it into the YouTube as well as in the in the classroom. So don't worry about it. So any questions, guys, so far? So you don't need to download any software. In WhatsApp, we are going to give you this link called. Okay, I'm typing it now. HTTPS workshop. This is the link that you should go. Okay, and also I will be pasting that into WhatsApp group right now, and we are going to announce that your user ID passwords. So you just need to go to, yes, we are going to give you the user ID password for that, which you will get it right. So we are going to give you the password. User IDs will be your unique number, which we are going to declare now. Then once you log in, you try to change your password, okay? So 1 second. Okay, we'll basically share with you once you log in. So technically, what is the user ID given to them, Radhaji? 1 second, let me find out.
I think still you're not forwarded that.
Yeah, 1 second.
See, every day's class video will be recorded and it will be uploaded in the website. So you can register, subscribe, and you can give it so that you can view that videos and you can practice it. See, it is not the internship where actually you just attend the class and you can go back. This year actually you need to practice it, and every day is your development. We can see that.
Okay, so your email ID will be your user ID, okay? So you are going to log in with your email ID, okay? And I'm going to give you the password so that, so you just need to go to that URL, okay? And then, so that is a password, and I'm also putting into your WhatsApp. And your login ID will be your email ID. So that's all. So go and check. If anybody have issue, you can always communicate. Yeah.
Shankarji, you can add Imran also to this group.
Yeah, I'm adding now.
See, whenever you are practicing, when you get doubt, immediately post it so that you can keep on going that. Otherwise, you will stuck there, and next class when you come back, you will not be able to do that.
Okay. So yeah, that's all for now. And so let's proceed. And you have everything, guys. You have URL. You have your user ID is your you have your login, your email ID as your login ID, and the password is given like workshop@123 W capital. Okay, thank you. So
thank you. Thanks for the day. Have a nice day.